Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Actually, Krishna consciousness is a yoga system. It's mantra yoga. There are religious aspects to it, but really it's a yoga system. And yoga, one way to understand the word is to link up or to connect. With the Supreme Being, the personality of Godhead. And a great name of God that really describes his personality is Kṛṣṇa. He has a lot of names, but that particular name really describes his most intimate personality as a loving person. Kṛṣṇa. Hare, energy of the Lord. Kṛṣṇa. Hare Krishna. It's a yoga system, folks. Bhakti yoga. Now, for the smooth running of society, and for a peaceful condition to be able to practice yoga, any type of yoga really, but bhakti yoga, society needs to be nicely run and managed so people aren't too disturbed with the basics of life. So there's religious principles, and leaders of society are responsible for maintaining those religious principles, so that people can practice yoga. Not necessarily the yoga standing on your head, or the yoga of, or even philosophical yoga, Sankhya yoga, although they're all part of it. But the bhakti yoga is the one that connects. And this mantra yoga is the one that actually connects. That's what we've been given for this time that we're living in on the planet, is this mantra yoga. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's not just a work song, you know. Hi ho, it's off to work I go. No. It's non-different from, the vibration is actually non-different from Kṛṣṇa. His pastimes, his form, his personality, his entourage. It's all Kṛṣṇa, it's all absolute. Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa. So let's hear about Kṛṣṇa. Bhagavad Gita, as it is, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa. He's giving us his association in his books. We can associate with Prabhupada by hearing from him in his books. And chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and following 4 regular principles, and we're good to go. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So this is chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita as it is, translated with commentaries by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Krishna's man. He's Krishna's man. The pure devotee of Krishna. No other agenda other than to please Krishna. And what does Krishna want? He wants everyone to get some mercy. He wants everyone to become conscious of him and stop transmigrating throughout 8,400,000 species of life and come back home to the spiritual world. So Srila Prabhupada has no other agenda than to make that available to everyone. So we read verse 40 yesterday, the famous verse. 41 is also, this is chapter 2, is also a well-quoted verse. And Krishna is enlightening Arjuna just before the battle of Kurukshetra about the nature of the soul and material attachment and how to become elevated in Krishna consciousness, devotional service. So this particular section, he says, vyavasāyātmikā buddhir ekeha kuru-nandana bahu-śākhā anantāś buddhayo vyavasāyinām. Those who are resolute on this path, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose. Their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So what path is this? What is he talking about? So in verse 39, Krishna says, the knowledge of yoga, whereby one works without fruit of result. By acting like that, you free yourself. In the bondage, there's no reactions for your work. And then in the next verse he says this, in this endeavor there's no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear of sinful reaction. So that's the path of works without fruit of result. So why do anything? I'm not going to get any result. Why should I do anything? Because it's the nature of the soul to be active. So we become active, but in the consciousness of Krishna. Not that I'm the doer, I'm the enjoyer, it's all about me. No, it's about Krishna. In a relationship with Krishna, we can do so many things. We can do anything. We can build big buildings. We can make a lot of money. You can do that. Usually, the devotee of Krishna is not inclined to be so involved like that. They want to chant and hear and remember. But for preaching, they can do those things. Like Prabhupada, it's a pure devotee. And, I mean, he was dealing with bank accounts and buildings and properties and thousands of disciples and airplanes. And he went around the world like 13 times. And he's like in his 70s, late 70s. early 80s. You can do so many things for preaching. But for his own self, Prabhupada didn't have anything. Someone sometimes would give him a gift, like a fancy watch, No, he would accept, thank you. He would wear it for like an hour, and then he'd give it to someone. Because he knew nothing belongs to him. Everything belongs to Kṛṣṇa. And then that way he can do so many things. So that's the path. And he says those who are on this path are resolute in purpose. Their aim is one. Intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Whoa, yeah. Like when we're chanting Hare Krishna, we're focusing on Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa. We're on the path, and we're resolute in purpose. The purpose is Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa. Be absorbed in the sound vibration, the relationship of service by vibrating the sound of Krishna's holy names. But then when we lose that resolution and the mind starts going here and there, it's a many branch. You start thinking about this, thinking about that. And you're chanting, but you're like, oh, you gotta go to the store, and I think I'm a little hungry, and what about so-and-so? Yesterday they said such and such. How do I deal with that? And on, and then many branched. But that's the chanting. Fixes the mind. Become resolute. Kṛṣṇa. Become resolute. All of that backs away. And there you go. So Prabhupada's purport. A strong faith in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, that one should be elevated to the highest perfection of life, is called vyavasāyātmikā, intelligence. The Caitanya-caritāmṛta states, śraddhā śabde viśvāsa kahe, sudṛḍha niścaya, kṛṣṇe bhakti kaile sarva-karma. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. When one is engaged in the duties of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with obligations to family traditions, humanity, or nationality. He need not act in relationship to material world, obligations to family traditions. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. Humanity or nationality. Fruit of activities are the engagement of one's reactions from past good or past deeds. Fruit of activities are the engagements of one's reactions from good or bad past deeds. When one is awake in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane, for they're no longer subject to dualities like good and bad. The highest perfection of Kṛṣṇa consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Kṛṣṇa consciousness. The resolute purpose of a person in Kṛṣṇa consciousness is based on knowledge. Vasudeva saramiti samahatma sudṛḍha, by which one comes to know perfectly that Vasudeva, or Kṛṣṇa, is the root of all manifested causes. So calling Kṛṣṇa Vasudeva is referring to Kṛṣṇa as the son of Vasudeva. That Vasudeva the son of Vasudeva, or Kṛṣṇa, is the root of all manifested causes. As water on the root of a tree is automatically distributed to the leaves and branches, in Kṛṣṇa consciousness one can render the highest devotional service to everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. If Kṛṣṇa is satisfied by one's actions, then everyone will be satisfied. It's probably watering the root of a tree. If Kṛṣṇa is satisfied, it's like watering the roots of a tree, all the leaves and branches. Service in Kṛṣṇa consciousness is, however, best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master who is a bona fide representative of Kṛṣṇa, who knows the nature of the student and can guide him to act in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. As such, to be well versed in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Kṛṣṇa, and one should accept the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master as one's mission in life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instructs us in his famous prayers for the spiritual master as follows. So this is Prabhupada speaking. He is the spiritual master. He is the spiritual master. It's the founder Acharya. He's the Acharya. He's the spiritual master. He is the Acharya. He is the Acharya. So one should accept the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master as one's mission in life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instructs us in his famous prayers for the spiritual master as follows. Yasya prasada Bhagavad prasado, Yasya prasada gati katopi, dayam stuvam tasya yasya trisandhyam, vande guroshi charanaravindam. By satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, there's no chance of being promoted to the plane of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. The whole process, however, depends on perfect knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body. Not theoretically, but practically. When there is no longer chance for sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities, one who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various types of fruitive acts. The whole process, however, now Prabhupada was just saying about the spiritual master and surrendering to the spiritual master and being guided by the spiritual master. So now the spiritual master says, okay, you do that, but the whole process depends on knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body. In other words, not just some kind of sentimental attachment to, wow, I've got a spiritual master, and then just go and do a whole bunch of whatever. It's not a sentimental thing. The process depends on perfect knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body, not theoretically but practically, so that there's no longer the chance for sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities. No sense gratification. I don't know, maybe I don't want this Kṛṣṇa consciousness. I've heard some people say that, Well, I'd surrender to Kṛṣṇa, but I don't know. I hear he takes everything away, and I might win the lottery, So, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I've heard people say stuff like that. And then leave, because maybe they're going to win the lottery. If they surrender to Kṛṣṇa, well, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. One who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various types of fruitive acts. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. I just want to see, if there's anything else about this word fruitive. Hare Krishna. I'm going to look it up. Because sometimes you can understand a little bit better by seeing different fruitive definitions. So, Hare Krishna. It's pretty clear. Giving fruit, Kṛṣṇa. What does fruitive mean? Enjoying, possessing, capable of producing fruit, fruitful. So renunciation means to give up. They don't say much more about it, just pretty simple. Gives fruit. Usually they have like 12 million synonyms. Okay, fruitive synonym. Huh. No, they just don't say much about fruitive. I guess everybody knows what it means because they're all engaged in fruitive activity. There's no need to discuss it any further. Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa. It's very clear. Everybody really knows what fruitive means because they're all doing it. Enjoying and possessing. That's all anybody has to say about it. I'm looking at 12 million dictionaries here. No one can say anything more about that. Nobody has anything to say. Possessing and enjoying, right? Yeah. All right, so that's clear. We're all agreed. You know what fruitive activity is. Problem is we don't know what activity that isn't fruitive is. Maybe just don't realize there is activity that's not fruitive. Oh, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to act and not get any fruit? That sounds weird. Kṛṣṇa. I mean, isn't that why you do anything? Because you want the result? The donkey with the carrot? Oh, Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa. Chant Hare Krishna. Become free from fruit of activity. And you get another kind of fruit. Love of God. Yeah.